My name is Jacob Dijak, and I'm a sound designer from Mammoth Audio. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make your own custom trailer BRAAMS with our density engine and just a few plugins. I usually like to begin with something tonal. That way, right off the bat, I can decide what key we're going to be in, as well as fill out a majority of the body of the sound. And then I usually work around that. So what I've done here is I've made a few changes to the original sound. I've pitched it down an octave, as well as raised the release so it's fading out a bit longer, and I've raised the attack so it's not hitting so hard right off the bat. So it eases into the sound a little bit more, and then I've also increased the distortion and mangle here. So I just have this going through a couple plugins. I've got it going through just a Waves EQ and Valhalla Reverb. So I'm cutting off all this muddiness, anything below 125 I'm cutting off. And I'm also boosting up a little bit more where the body of the sound sits. And I've got that going through a long decay reverb that I've set up. About 6.5 seconds of decay, so it really fades out. So the next sound that I've layered in is this high drone here, and I'm really only using the end of it. As you can see, I've got it doesn't come in until the very end. Everything else is muted, so it just kind of fades in at the very end there. So that's just the part of the sound that I wanted to use, and I've just got that doing much the same thing. I'm just cutting out all that muddiness down at the bottom. That's just going to make your sound muddy. And I'm sending that through the reverb as well. So the next sound I'm using is one of the drag and drops. So those are located in the density waves folder. Within the plugin. So you'll find those here, see density waves, and then you can just click on any of these and they're just wave files, and you can drag those in to your project. And those are a little bit easier to work with if you're going to be stretching the audio or reversing stuff. It was a little bit easier to work with the audio. And then you can do sizing here applies in Cubase and just stretch it out very easily. And that way you can easily manipulate any of the drag and drop sounds with just a couple clicks. And that's really all I have going with this particular sound. The next sound I'm using is one of these reverse effects. I'm using one of the tonal ones. And so I'm sending that through a bit of echo here with good old Echo Boy. And so what I'm doing with this sound is it's a reverse effect. So it's already an effect that's been reversed. But what I'm doing in the density engine, it's got a cool feature where you can reverse any of the sounds that you're using. So it's really easy. You just click the reverse here, and then it's playing this sound from this side to this side. And I've increased the attack a lot, so it's not hitting so hard right off the beginning. And the release I've also increased, so it's fading out a little slowly. I've added distortion and mangle, as well as I've pitched it up quite significantly from what it originally was. And that's obviously going through the room reverb as well. And then my next sound here I'm using is a downer that I've manipulated. I've also got some pitch shifting going on, and I've stretched it out like I showed you before with the other sound. And I'm fading in and out of it, obviously, here. And so this pitch bend here that I have written in with this plugin here, and so that's just manipulating the pitch of the sound as it goes. hear it drops down there. And I'm also putting this through the reverb, just like everything else. And the last sound I'm using is one of these sub kicks. They're labeled booms in the folders there. And all I've done for this is I'm just fading in and out a tiny bit with it, and I'm putting a little bit of EQ, cutting off the mud and boosting here, just to make it punch a little bit more. And that's it. And so when we're all done with everything, we're left with a pretty cool sound that we've made that sounds like nobody else. And so that's a really easy way to make your own BRAAMS with just one engine. So the only engine I've used for all of this is density. Got no other synths going or anything else. So it's really easy with just this one engine to make thousands of unique sounds without all that much effort, just a few plugins. Quick note on my reverbs, I like to do that same cut down below 30 hertz just to make sure there's no mud. Same cut we've been doing with all these tracks. It can just start to build up really quick, especially when you're layering different low sounds together. You can start to get this boominess happening that just doesn't give you the sound that you want. So that's pretty much how I make my custom BRAAMS. One thing I usually try to make sure with my sounds is that I'm getting a full sound. So I don't add too many low elements or too many middle elements or too many high elements. I like to keep, you want to fill it out. So you use a little bit of high stuff, a little bit of medium stuff, and some low stuff just to make this big full sound. And that's pretty much what I do. So now go out and go make your own trailer BRAAMS.